Okay, so if you're looking at my screen, you see a question that says, what value of A makes the above equation true? Okay, so there's obviously some answers here. The cosine of 270, you have to be able to figure that out, and that's a unit circle. So how comfortable are you on your unit circle?
I mean, like, do I have to have it memorized, or would they like? Is that something they would give me?
That's no, they're not definitely not going to give you the unit circle, but to what extent do they ask you? You know, uh, I don't know. Like it could be all first quadrant stuff. 270 is pretty reasonable. It's right here on the on a nice position.
Okay.
Um, so it's the x value there. What's the x value at this position?
Um. Well, isn't it like pi to pi? Wait, no. It goes like pi on the right side, right? And
Right.
then
That's the angle. What I'm asking though is what's the ordered pair here at this position?
oh, 0. Yeah. Okay.
And cosine is the x value. So this ends up becoming 0. You follow that? Like cosine of 270 is 0.
Yeah.
Okay. So this equation becomes 0 plus sine A equals 0. Well, you don't care about that. So now where is sine A equal to 0? And that's where you can maybe look at these answers, but that doesn't help you much if you don't, know your unit circle. Sine is the y value, right? The y value is like here it's 1 comma 0 minus 1 comma 0.
Mhm.
So the answer here is this one, but um, the that's because you can get to like this position either going one way or the other. So my guess is this is not very comfortable for you. Just
Um, okay, so I get that the cosine of 270 would be 0. So I still don't. So sine of A, that's 180. The
yeah,
negative 180.
negative one.
And how did you get that?
Well, there's actually many possible answers here. So if it's in degrees, we know that the y value is 0 here and here. So that's at 0 or 180 degrees. Okay.
Oh.
But because of coterminal angles, you can subtract 360 from both of these to get minus 360, which I don't know if that'd be an option, or minus 180, which is an option.
Okay.
So here's what I'm going to do first. I'm gonna send you a link to a unit circle, and I want you to have it out while we're working on this because it'll speed up the process, and then you can decide if you want to memorize it or not. But let me get this sheet pulled up. It is not download. It is not going to it. All right, let me see if I can just throw it into the chat. It's not taking me there directly.
Okay.
Um, all kinds of problems today. All right, chat. All right, see if you can go to that link and see if you can get to page 3.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, great. So now let me pull up a new question and we'll see if we can do this slightly differently where you, sorry, did that again, where you can look up the values on the unit circle. So let me get there. Okay, this is better. All right, so let's look at this question here. All right, so if you got that unit circle up and you can see my screen,
Hmm.
I want you to tell me the cosine of 120. What's the x coordinate there at 120 degrees on the unit circle?
120. The x coordinate is -1/2.
Negative 1/2
Yeah.
plus sine A equals. Now this is key here. You'd have to notice you can break this fraction apart Oh, you said -1/2, right?
Yeah, -1.
Okay. So now that you have -1/2 here, how do you solve for sine A? Well, you would undo this by adding a half. So sine A equals square root of 2/2.
Oh, and that's the point. So you
So somewhere in your unit circle, the y value is square root of 2/2. There should be 2 degrees where that's true.
wait. Sine is the y. I always thought
Sine is the y value, yeah.
oh, so 2/2, 45 degrees, and 3 pi over 4.
Give them to me in degrees.
Yeah, sorry, I just I did both. 45 degrees and 135 degrees.
Okay. So notice none of those answers are there. So the coterminal angles, which it's like, okay, if you want to get to 45, 45 is right there. If you go the other way, it's the same as subtracting 360. So if you subtract 360 from that, you get -315 and -225
So
when you
just
subtract
and just
360 from both of those.
it would just be um the negative of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Like it would be instead of √2/2, you'd look for the places where it's negative √2/2.
No. You figure out where it's √2/2, and then you subtract 360 from both of those angles.
Right, but the point ends up being like the y point ends up being like negative √2/2 in both those places also.
No, not at -315 degrees. So -315 degrees is the same as going to 45. It's right here. It's going this way.
Oh, not
One's
positive three.
one
Okay.
going counterclockwise, one going clockwise.
Oh, got you. Okay. So adding or subtracting these. Okay.
All right, so let's try another one here. We'll just do degrees for a while, and then we'll go do some in radians. Okay. So now go to your unit circle and figure out what the cosine of 225 degrees is.
225 negative √2/2.
So minus √2/2 equals, and I'm just going to break this apart, square root of 3/2 minus square root of 2/2. So now if we add this to both sides, add square root of 2/2 to both sides, where is sine of A equal to √3/2? Where is the y coordinate equal to √3/2?
√3/2, 60 degrees and 120 degrees.
Okay, so now the answer is 120, but what are the coterminal angles to that? We have to subtract 360. Because to get to, for example, 120 degrees, you could go this way, counterclockwise, or you could go clockwise this way. And that's the minus 300 degrees and the minus 240 degrees.
Okay. Okay.
So these do get a little repetitive, but this is where I would ask you to think about, like, do you know your unit circle, or do you think you can get back to where you know your unit circle?
I mean, like how much of the unit circle would I have to know, like realistically?
So the first quadrant you should know for sure. None of these are first quadrant questions though, because these are designed to be more difficult than what you would see on there. Because first quadrant questions are pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, I could do first quadrant.
Okay. So like, I'm okay if you keep using the unit circle, of course, today. It's just it's something to think about.
Yeah.
It does show up, and you just want to be prepared. You're studying a lot for one question, but that's the nature of this thing. All right, so give this one a try on your own. Spend about 60 seconds, 1 minute or two, and see if you can figure it out. All right, so cosine 315 degrees is square root 2 over 2.
I think I got it.
So where does sine A equal?
I got A.
Minus 300 degrees. That is correct. All right. So now we're going to do the same questions in radians. And yeah, on your unit circle, you can see you obviously have radians there. If I were writing the test, I would want you to be able to do it in radians because that's kind of more common. But I couldn't tell you what. I just know that this has been on there. This is a different way of asking a question about your unit circle. So let's see this here. So go to your unit circle. What is the cosine of 5 pi over 6?
5 pi over 6. Negative root 3 over 2.
All right, so negative, oops, I keep doing that. Negative root 3 over 2 equals 1/2 minus square root of 3 over 2. So those cancel. And you end getting, where does sine A equal 1/2?
Then you look where it's 1/2.
Yeah, so they're again kind of the same deal. Now here you're probably gonna get one of these. Like it's gonna
Pi
be
over 6, right?
yeah, pi over 6. Okay, so where else is it equal to 1/2 on the unit circle?
5 pi over 6.
5 pi over 6. Good. Now, are you comfortable subtracting 2 pi from each of these?
Yeah.
Because that's the same thing. And so this is like subtracting 12 pi over 6. 12 pi over 6. So that's minus 11 pi over 6 minus 7 pi over 6.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay, so let's do another one here where we got some radian stuff. All right. Okay. All right, so give yourself a minute to work on this and see what you come up with.
Wait, there is no negative 5 pi over 4 though.
Okay, so that's the first challenge here. So recall that if you go this way, it's positive, and if you go this way, it's negative. So this is like negative pi over 2. This is like negative pi.
Oh, okay.
So you probably can see that 5 pi over 4 is here.
Yeah.
This is 5 pi over 4. Well, negative 5 pi over 4 is going to be this one up here. And that corresponds to 3 pi over 4.
Okay.
Now, if you want a more direct way to get that, it's adding 2 pi to get your coterminal angle.
Okay, so you start with the coterminal. Okay.
So it's like adding 8 pi over 4 produces 3 pi over 4.
Okay.
So what is the x coordinate there? Cosine of 3 pi over 4.
Negative root 2 over 2.
Negative root 2 over 2 plus sine A equals square root 3 over 2 minus square root 2 over 2.
Cancel. Sine is 3 over 2. That's 3 over 2 pi over 3 and 2 pi over 3.
Say that one more time.
Pi over 3 and 2 pi over 3.
Pi over 3 and 2 pi over 3. Those are where it equals square root 3 over 2. Yep. Problem is neither of those are there.
Then add 2 pi.
You want to subtract 2 pi.
Oh, subtract. Wait, why'd you add in that?
So coterminal angles, you can either add or subtract. You can add or subtract 2 pi or 360. So if it's negative, you tend to add, and if it's positive, you tend to subtract.
Okay.
So these are both positive angles, so you subtract 2 pi. Because if you add 2 pi, you just get further. If you go to pi over 3 on your unit circle, that's about there. Well, if you add 2 pi, that's like going around again and getting there.
Right. Okay.
We want to go the other way to get a different number. So that would be like minus 6 pi over 3. So that's minus 5 pi over 3, minus 6 pi over 3. It's minus 4 pi over 3.
So it's, yeah.
Looks like it's that one there. Okay, let's do one more and then we'll move on to another question. Hopefully you're getting the feel for why the, go ahead.
It's easy when you have the units.
It's very easy, right?
I don't know if I could do it like that.
Yeah, so you're, that's the, this is the kind of thing that does show up on placement tests in college if you want to get into calculus, like if you've already taken your pre-calculus and stuff and you don't want to retake college algebra. But I can only encourage you to study this. I mean, you're not going to get 5 questions on it. You're going to get 1, maybe.
Yeah, right.
So give this one a try, please.
D.
You said D?
Yeah.
I'm looking at new questions for us to get. Number 12 is D. Yes. All right. So take that, kind of with what you will. If you want to bulk up on you should at least know the first quadrant.
Yeah.
For sure. More than that, you can kind of see the relationships. Most students take the ST, ACT a few times, so you'll get a feel for whether it was worth it or not to do that. I don't think we've done this question. It's a question about writing the equation of a line. So say that again.
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have either. So let's look at this here together. An airplane flying from Chicago to El Paso has a boarding time of 25 minutes and is expected to depart 20 minutes early. The commercial airplane making this flight has a seating capacity of 6 people per row and a total of 38 rows. When the price of a ticket is $400, a total of 100 people buy tickets. For every $190 reduction in price, approximately 95 more people buy tickets. So does that, like from that sentence there, when the price of a ticket is $400, so 100 people buy tickets, but when it goes down, 95 more people buy tickets. Did you follow that? Like, what would the new price be and how many people buy tickets?
What would the new price be?
Yeah, what would the new price be?
Oh, well, 400 minus 190, so.
So 210, right?
Yeah.
And then 100, and you got 95 more people buy tickets. So 100, it would be 100, like 100 goes up by 95. Okay, just that's key here. Which of the following represents the price P as a function of the number of passengers N? So is P X or is PY, is NX or is NY according to this?
P is, which is the following? Well, no, N would be X.
And that's Y.
Yeah, P would be.
Okay, so I want you to try to convert the information in this sentence to 2 ordered pairs.
Okay.
X, Y, really it's N comma P. What are the 2 ordered pairs here?
Do the minutes have to do anything with them?
Nope, completely irrelevant.
Okay.
So is the number of people per row and the total 38 rows. None of that's useful.
So it would be, well, 400 would be the P. So, okay, so 100 comma 400. And
Okay.
then 95, comma 190.
So it's 95 more.
Oh, so yes, 1.
Okay, and then the new price?
190. Or no, 210.
210. Okay. This is something you see very often in business calculus classes. They give you kind of, as one goes up, the other goes down. That's how, like the more you pay, fewer people buy, or the more people, the lower. So there's these relationships happen. Now, it's inferred that this is the equation of a line. Okay, so how do you find the equation of a line from two data points?
You find the slope. No. Yeah, slope.
I'm sorry, say that again.
You find the slope.
Find the slope. So the slope here is 400 minus 210 over 100 minus 195. It would also be okay to go 210 minus 400 over 195 minus 100. Okay. So this is 190 over negative 95, which equals negative 2.
So the only one that, oh, wait, well, I guess it's not in slope.
So the answer must be this one. Do you agree?
But it's not in slope. Isn't that standard form?
Well, it's P of n. It's like P of n is a functional form because this is asked for functions.
Okay. So yeah,
but it's got the right slope. Okay, but let's just carry it through because let's just say you didn't have that.
Okay.
So the best form to write it in would be either slope intercept form or point slope form. So in slope intercept form, it would be P equals M and then N plus B. This is where it gets a little weird. Like that's the Y and that's the X. But you know your slope. You know your slope is it's negative 2N plus B. So you can use either data point, 100 comma 400, and you can solve for B. So this is 400 equals minus 600 plus B. I'm sorry, minus 200. And then you add 200 to both sides, and you get B equals 600. And that's why it matches there.
So it is in y equals mx plus b form.
It is, yeah. It's P of n, which is just function notation, minus 2n plus 600. Okay, so if you understood that, the key here is being able to extract the two data points, come up with the slope, and then depending on the answers, maybe find the B value.
Right, okay.
Okay, so let me pull up, let me grab more of these questions. Let me make sure I got that. Okay, question 6. And let me grab a few more of these. Question 6. Okay, so I got pull up another question here. I want you to try writing down, at least getting to the slope. Let's see if you can get the slope on this.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay, I got.
So one of the ordered pairs is 70 comma 350.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other one is 240, 265.
240, 265. Yeah.
I bet the slope is 1/2 or 0.5.
Is it positive or negative?
Positive.
Should be negative.
Oh,
So 350 minus 265.
isn't it y2 minus
It,
y1?
it is, but you can actually choose this to be y2 and x2, and this to be x1 and y1.
Oh, so
Like
but what if you did it like what if it is the way I did it wrong then if I chose?
no. Let me do it the way you
Okay.
wrote down 265 minus 350 over 240 minus 70.
Oh, I know why because I did y2 minus y1 on the top and then I did x1
Yeah.
minus x2 on the bottom.
So you get negative 1/2. So again, it's probably that one there.
Yeah. Okay.
I can see that there's a problem with this question if this pattern continues. Let me look at the solution and see if I can find one that you have to carry it through here. Okay, so unfortunately, they all have that problem where once you find the slope, you can figure out the answer. So let's do fork 2 on this. This is the related question. It asks something very similar. So you're not even gonna notice much of a difference if you aren't paying attention. But let's just look at the last line here once I paste this in. It says, which of the following represents the number of passengers n as a function of the price p? So n, y is now n, and x is now p.
Oh, so you split. Okay.
Yeah, and you do have to switch them or you will not get what you expect here.
So you switch. So it would be like 575 is the
Yep. The first ordered pair would be like 575, comma 160.
Okay.
And the other next ordered pair is whatever it is, 435, comma 230.
Right. Okay. And find the slope. So it's y2. So 230. 435. 70 over Okay, so it's the same. It's negative 0.5.
So the slope this time is 230 minus 160 over 435 minus 575. So it's 70 over negative 140. So it is minus 1/2.
Okay.
All right. I think that's pretty straightforward. And that's just extracting information from a problem and coming up with the equation of a line. I don't think we've done recursive sequences yet.
No. I don't know what those are, so.
All right, you will when you see this. I'm sure you've had this in one of your classes already. All right, so Ben is a mathematician who works for a toy company that makes wooden toys. He has learned through 9 years of research that the number of toys that parents buy for their children can be predicted using the recursive sequence above, where n is the child's age. So let's just talk about what a recursive sequence is. The next term equals something about the previous term, but could also have something to do with the previous term. Like there's no limit to it. Recursive means it depends on something from a prior step.
Mhm.
So in this case, the current, if n is the current, n minus 1 is the one before it, and n minus 2 is the one before that.
Okay.
Okay, if Veronica buys her daughters 62 toys in the first year, and 92 toys in the second year, how many toys we purchased in year 3? So the hint here is that n is equal to 3 because of that right there.
Okay.
So taking this equation, what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to evaluate for n equals 3. So a3 equals minus
Okay,
1 to the
then
3
three.
minus 1
Okay.
power.
Yes, I know. I've done this before. Okay.
Okay, now this is where this is one of those time savings things. Negative 1 to the power of 2 is 1. Rather than trying to rewrite this a bunch of times, negative 1 to the power of 2 is 1, times 5 is 5. So a3 equals 5 times a2. Negative 1 to the power of negative 1, or I'm sorry,
Wait,
negative 1 to the power,
sorry.
go ahead.
Can you so negative 1 to the power of 2 is 1, and
Yes,
then
times 5 is 5.
oh, and you just don't do anything with the 8.
Yes, the more you can simplify, the better you're going to be.
Okay. You can't do anything with the subscript, right?
Not yet, not yet. So then on the right here, negative 1 to the power of 1 is negative 1 times 6, that's negative 6, a sub 1.
Okay.
So it'd be even better if you didn't even have to write the n. Like if you could just go straight to this line, that's even better because you're saving all that time writing. Okay, do we know how many toys were bought in year 1?
Yeah.
62. Do we know how many toys were bought in year 2? 92. No calculator. We got some, bigger numbers here, but 5 times 90 is 450. 5 times 2 is 10. 6 times 60 is 360. 6 times 2 is 12. Now we did this in a previous problem. It's always better if you can combine kind of ones that are like each other. Like 450 minus 360 becomes 90. 10 minus 12 becomes minus 2. And there's your answer, 88. Let me grab some more questions here to work through. Um, okay, so here's one that's not too bad. It's similar to what we just did. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to read through the question, and then I want you to be able to write this equation with the simplified value for n equals 3.
Okay. I got 31, I think. Yeah, 31.
You got 31 for that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this problem has a little wrinkle to it that I want to see if I can find one.
Was that right? It was 31, right?
Yeah, I mean, that seems right. If you got a number after doing it all, it's fine. So now this one is kind of a step up in difficulty from what you just did. Um, so this one asks for year 4. Year 4. What if n equals 4? Okay, so now let me just write this out. So that's a4 equals -1 to the 4 minus 1 power times 2 to the a sub 4 minus 1 plus -1 to the 4 minus 2 power times 6 to the a sub 4 minus 2 power. So when you simplify all this, this becomes -1 to the power of 3, -2 a sub 3, and then this is -1 to the power of 2, so that's positive, plus 6a squared. Okay, so if we had year 2 and year 3, we could do this problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they tell you that they give you 17 toys in the first year. That means that a sub 1 equals 17, and 61 toys in the second year, a sub 2 equals 61. Is that the information we want?
No, because you need
No.
3.
Now, can we use these to get to find A3? Yes, yes. I mean, that's what you just were doing. If n equals 3, this whole thing we can try to.
Oh, yeah.
So A3 equals -1 to the 3 minus 1 power times 2 a sub 3 minus 1 plus -1 to the 3 minus 2 power times 6 to the a sub 3 minus 2 power. So this is -1 squared, so it's positive, so that's 2 a sub 2, and then -1 to the power of 1 is negative, so -6 a sub 1. So now we can use the given information to find a sub 3. A sub 3 equals 2 times 61 minus 6 times 17.
Okay. 122 minus 42. 122 minus 102, yeah.
So did you get that it's 20?
Yeah.
So A3 is 20. So now we can go back to this equation and find A4. A4 is minus 2 times 20 plus 6 times A2. Well, that was 61. So this is -40 plus 6 times 60 is 360 plus the 1 is 6. So these two combine to 320. -40 and 360 is 320 plus 6 is 326.
Okay.
Okay, now I want to do one of these with you, or have you do one of these, but I don't want you to have the answers. I want you to try it without the answers because it's nice when you have them there. You get some comfort, but you can definitely do this. It's just a matter of plugging the numbers in, and then we'll look at the maybe we'll look at the related question. Maybe not, because it's not. It's some of the same. So give yourself 60 seconds, a minute, and see if you can figure this out. What did you get for A3?
Oh, well, for the whole thing, I got 683.
You got it. You got it. A4 is 683. Excellent. All right, fantastic. Okay. Let's see what else we've been doing here. We've done that one. Okay. I know we've probably done these, but this isn't a super long topic, so I want to fill that with the last bit of time that we have. Go through these. So, okay. Two lines are parallel if what is true?
They have the same slope.
Same slope. What's the slope of equation 1? Sorry.
You have to move the y over.
Well, you have to solve for y, right?
Yeah. So you
Okay.
12x plus 4, and then you divide by 4. So 3.
3. What's the slope of the second one? And the problem is it's got this k. You have to treat k like it's a number, so you still want to solve for y.
Okay, so you move x over, so it's minus, and then you divide by k. That's x over k.
Yep. So y equals x over k. The slope, though, of this is 1 over k. Like there's a 1 in front.
Oh, okay.
So we want this to equal 3.
Right.
Because then it has the same slope of this one up here. So what's the solution to that?
You would multiply by 1 over 3.
It is 3. Yeah, no, it is 1/3. You're solving. You have to cross multiply here. 1 times 1 equals k times 3.
Oh, you do cross multiply? You can't just
Yeah.
multiply by like 1 over 1?
No, not to get it out of the bottom.
Oh, okay. So you'd cross multiply k.
All right, let's do one more here. I'm going to snip this one in, give this one a try, and maybe this will be our last one. We'll see. If you'd like to work on a few more after this.
2x 7ky equals 2x 7.
So you might want to find the slope of the second one first.
Oh.
because it doesn't have the letter in it.
Y equals negative x. Okay. So then you have the two slopes. Huh. Well, is the slope for the first line, is it 2x over 7k? Is that right?
Well, the slope is a number though, so it does not have an x in it. It would be.
Oh, 2 over 7k. Yeah,
it is yeah 2 over 7 times k, yeah. So 2 over 7 times k has to equal -1, and -1 is really -1 over 1, and this is where you cross multiply to get it.
Okay, so 2 equals -7k, and then you would divide by -7. So k equals 2 over -2/7, so a.
It is a. All right. This satisfies our time, but if you'd like to do one more, I can pull up another question. It's up to you.
I'm okay. I'm kind of tired.
All right. We did really well today, and thanks again for scheduling. I will send out the notes and the screen recording here shortly.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye now.